Abusuya, there is a video of John Dramani Mahama or time one or Yamampeni fansa o kreti ni sika or de toho jan chirima de boa Ghana. Says kanobia neja Akufo Addo mobile ya de yensa bomu ene omo dia manasa omo intimi enya hwe famwa Ghana mine. Na this kind of videos yen yi e wa YouTube nkyerɛw Adom TV, Hwan Radio, yen yin chiro, despite media phone yin chiro, nti yen, ena ewo se ye trumpet video say, na itimi ko na Ghana phone na tia se, sa nneoma na John Dramani Mahama yen was visionary. Yes, na John Dramani Mahama dream dachi, or mampeni bi he had a foresight for the future. That is why he did everything that he did. Nti yenko na yenko tie John Dramani Mahama enu munsem. Na seria senia mu nyina munimu no achire madwen. Watch.
We were thinking about the future. And so we have something we call a sinking fund. A sinking fund is like the sink in your bathroom. And so it has a hole. So when you open the water, the sink does not get full because the sinking hole is draining the water. So we set up what we call a sinking fund. And what we did was every year we put some of our revenue in the sinking fund so that when debts are coming, we take money out of the sinking fund and settle those debts. So it just works the same way as a sink so that the water won't overflow and flood your bathroom. If that hole is open, anytime a debt is coming, you get some water to pay the debt. This government came, we had left money in the sinking fund because we knew that the debt that Kufuor's government took, the first Eurobond, $750 million, we knew it was going to become due in October 2017. And so we put money in the sinking fund and said, whichever government will be there in 2017 should be able to get money to pay the debt so that it will not affect the economy. I knew that we could lose the election. I was hopeful that we would win, but we lost. And when we lost and that debt became due, Oforiatta went to the sinking fund, took that money, and paid the Kufuor debt. That was forward thinking. I too could have used the money because it was an election year. I could have used the money to try and win the election. But we were thinking forward. We went and took Eurobond. And we said, no, we're going to set up the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. And so we need to give them seed money so that we can use that as our sovereign wealth fund, and we can use that and go and borrow money to come and do infrastructure in Ghana. And so we put $270 million aside in the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. And that is the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. Part of the money from the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund was used to build Terminal 3 at Kotoka Airport. I too could have said, 270 million is an election year, I want to win, I will spend the 270 million, share it to people so that I'll win the election. We established a stabilization fund. I put money in the stabilization fund. And the stabilization fund is meant for emergency. If there's any emergency, government can go into the stabilization fund and take money and resolve the emergency. You remember when COVID happened? Government of Ghana didn't have one single cedi to start responding to COVID. It was Parliament that told them, oh, go and look in the stabilization fund. John Mahama left money in the stabilization fund. Go and take that money and use it for our COVID response. So Parliament approved it, and they went and took the money from the stabilization fund and started to respond to COVID. Even that money, they didn't use it properly. They gave sole source contracts to friends and relatives. They gave Momo to their party executives and everybody. And so there's a difference between a visionary government, that is a government that is looking forward into the future, and a government that is thinking only about their stomachs today. We were thinking about the future. And so we have something we call a sinking fund. A sinking fund is like this.
You see, the funny thing is Sansem ya John Dramani Mahama na ma okay. Ya no muntumi ma bonten menkyerɛ sɛ Mahama boa. Ana sɛ omuntumi ma bonten me dispute sansem ya Mahama yɛken. Na sɛ sansem ya Mahama yɛken nyina no is nothing but no kware. Na chenchina Ghana fo bi nom guso te Ghana ha kyerɛ sɛ yɛmpɛ Mahama. Question a me bisa Ghana fo nyina ne sɛ what do we want? Ɛdeɛ deɛ pɛ. Ɛdeɛ deɛ pɛ. This was visionary. Sinking Fund, Stabilization Fund, Hwan Fund. This was visionary. And a yano munam. And a ye chan troche Ghana for saying, "Aye, Mahama enya iska biara Mahama or ye now no bodom penu wansana ye ba no na economy na se omubua." John Dramani Mahama and a creative self fund when you na Jessica. Says sinking fund no yen fentria yeka. Emma eka e mene Ghana economy no. Emma Ghana Emma meye a debt distressed nation. You understand? Next yin creative fund be na yemfa entria yeka. Iti John Dramani Mahama e creative sinking fund. Sa fund num sika no bi na ye de tria akofo Eurobond. Ye de tria eka akofo broto hoja Ghana. This was visionary. Weye man penia odwin dachi. Weye man penia onim nia oye. He understands the game. He understands governance. Men sorry keke. And say most of you mudi mechi enyaneo. Most of you mudi mechi be 4 years ago. Samra na mejina enrem baby video ni na mudi mechi enya nasem. Ye de free baby na ye de abedru baby religion ya ka ho asem de enti ya pese ye change Ghana for adwen. Ema Ghana for tiase. Say masa we for ourselves. Oh my Ghana eyen. Se Ghana be ya eyen. Se Ghana enye yinso eyen ti me ma metena ha entwa montro da. Me ntena ha nkyere se me di Mahama echi obra me hu any substance in Mahama. Obra me ntena se na me ankasa me nya me background check about Mahama. Obra me ntie Mahama no mu nsem enti ba me amoso de emfa compare. I am giving you the right route. Say papa we na a free next year January ko obetimi aboa Ghana. Stabilization Fund. John Dramani Mahama created say to renche to Ghana to stabilize the economy. That is how they got the name Stabilization Fund. To be able to stabilize the Ghana's economy in the midst of crisis. Say for example, COVID-19 by yen creative fund the way na yenfa enso Ghana sini. Yenfa enso Ghana musene be ya COVID-19 no emma may something na a collapse the economy and say have a very negative impact on our economy. And until na John Dramani Mahama create Stabilization Fund. Akufo Addo buy bisa ho say fund the buy na omo create. Buy bisa ho say e die sika na omo di ato ho say sebi enchiri ma in case say boni bi to Ghana abanya sa amre no. E wo ho emfa no kwan. 8 years ni. Now tiase say John Dramani Mahama enya mfie na ipe. Semfie na na Mahama timidi create Stabilization Fund the sinking fund they all aimed at improving the economy, improving your standards of living, trying to make sure that we are able to manage ourselves as a nation. And kofi by 8 years in each remisi campaign and then Bawumia and Akufo Addo ni wasi campaign and then kofi di Ghana. 80 Ghana for nanti say John Dramani Mahama creative foundation no man kofi rather and ababa say foundation John Dramani Mahama creative. Mahama jankofu iska enen kofu diska no amanasa ama empo ye ka besian kofu aboa eso che Mahama de times be 1000 edintia ye ka besian kasa Mahama na mu boy ya na ye be 54 billion cedis pe ene ye ka kofu besian ye over 658 billion Ghana cedis. Can you compare the two and still counting? Because we still have some few months to go. So all these months in especially election year, imagine how much these people are going to spend on a campaign alone. Just imagine. Enti Ghana for can be let us put our emotions aside and listen to the substance in our message. Look at the number of ministers at John Dramani Mahama they 1 year Juma. The number of ministers they were not more than 80. Now so when under Akufo Addo, number of ministers in 120. Now so you huni enkofu ya ye. Now say ema menkasa. O say ema ye nti bibiase. wo say ema Ghana fo ntiase say John Dramani Mahama born homode chen kofi na sebi say enuma we ya Mahama ye can you compare Mahama to San Kofi ana? The answer is no. Dear na mo pe as a nation oman punto ne pe oman ne chichiri, what do you want? Mahama wenya enkofi a bad economy. John Dramani Mahama left them a very vibrant, a very buoyant economy. E enkofi na be say economy a Mahama jaye. Economy no enye no ani say eno an say you e enkofi na say no. E na ye kra bibia na so John Dramani Mahama emreso na ente saa. Eno ntina Mahama upon say nyuma we nyina wo de wo atenase nafa wadwen tototo ho. Say enyuma ben na Mahama yeye. Airport wana Mahama eka ho asem nyina no was funded by the government of Ghana through foreign banks in ade. John Dramani Mahama funded airports ahodo Ghana. John Dramani Mahama ayasabi ahodo ne akwan we nyina. John Dramani Mahama etimi yes anima we nyina contain Ghana ka amana amro 54 billion cedis. Enko fi bai enete afi ho asem na yeka say ya track abia Ghana for enfan track hu te afia omwesi. And the economist are taunting Ghana for you say about me idea about economy and answer with him the jayo ubi to know and about me can now a vice president or chairman of the Bank of Ghana or deputy governor or whatever about me Juma at the Bank of Ghana. The money is there with him answer ye taunting about me and the economist you know PhD holder no ababe tanka sini toilet na wosi and the TFI na wosi. And one is saying amen. This is a visionary leader. Say Mahama kasa ya muntie no. I think say it's high time wa ye shall see making such short videos. Live on wa so ya ne wa. Ndi say obi antena say anhwe live video na later on say otena say share program be to we say na eni hakakra. Inti ya na message bi ho a akɔhye to baabi obi hu. Inti it's about time wa message say menuano mu aye promote the same message. Yen shall see create short video say na abrochirefo ni Ghana for to me share ne quick. Na Ghana for to me share acha ni 15 minutes 20 minutes. Na Ghana for to me tena sen share. No be boa more. Believe you me, these are the kind of things I yen share nenko yen like yen share na Ghana for ema metie enokra Mahama ka kire mo. Said this was or this is what Mahama did. And Mahama Aircono 2016 after just 4 years Mahama timi create fund a hold agents card to hold the gentrima. After 8 years of Bawumia and Akufo Addo and ne se Bawumia kwa Akufo Addo kwa sika pain and kofu edi to hamamo. Eni sika na ye wi ade shem pass no. Ana sika na ye de to petrol gu V80 mu eso akonwa no. Ana sika na ye de fro private jet tua 14,000 euros no. Ana sika na kofu de to am na $58 million aso dan ye ntimi si ye no. Ana $48 million na kofu ni kire se omodi ate odaw na no mu a ebesi na ne atia ne tie no. Ana se empo worse than before no. De he ni sika kofu di jamo. John Dramani Mahama was a visionary leader. Hey, Mameka we nchire mo. John Dramani Mahama na yenya ne Ghana ha ye hu ne so mfaso no senke koye se okoye mampani bi wo UK anase Finland mo anase Russia mo a they would have been able to see the importance of John Dramani Mahama. Senior de American and the Western leaders no Germany mpanimfo ne ho e de pa na omo ye foundation ya omo nananom de to hoja omo nene omo didi ho. That's why today you move to their countries and say, oh, Charlie, mampeni we the German for the omunim nyansan from olden days so enya nessa German for nessa abrofo na munimono. The kind of leader John Dramani Mahama yeno senka John Dramani Mahama copy Bruni Crusoe. John Dramani Mahama can say on ben statue everywhere within the nation at to airport the Nidia to airport to Sony Suku ahodo so ni ade. Na so Ghana ha yenya mampani bi tisa John Dramani Mahama onimu nyansa na dwen ye adwuma yeti Ghana said na tem esa kire se na Mahama na o saba e de no obeye. Come off it. Are we serious? Are we serious? Maybe someone say, are we serious? The NDC has continuously developed this nation. Whether you like it or not. The facts are there. The evidences are there. Everything you need is there. Go and check for yourself. The NDC has continuously built this nation. Go and check their track record. Me say, kasam fi we nyina NDC na nka di Ghana for so a. Kasam of course, ebi anka Ghana me yesa Malaysia mo de banka Ghana akọ nanim chese. because ne baby Mahama drew ye nkofo ba 8 years ni almost had the Ghana sa kwa nechi internet sample Mahama sa ba dum so sa twen no dum so a ono o use 4 years de solve ye ne dum so sa twen no ene Mahama ba eka kese na eda ho twen no o sa ba amna kese bi na eda rich sa twen no se sa amna no ode be ye den o Ghana fo nim. Are we mad? Are we sick as a people? Na a dear pa ne penny or time hunu and a Mahama Jimmy na dear pa ne time huni. A dear pa ne sebi or time hunu a Jimmy Samui if free hefa. Minanum Ghana for yen tiasie. Na ye huni say mampeni bi nyemfie na pe a visionary enough it me create sa fund the way you na say or this what Ghana minor a sinking fund ne stabilization fund ne hwan fund ne ade na say or the chese or the so Ghana dachi mu say dachi bi say BBC a Ghana for sikani ye fancy no kwan e ka akofo boy ne ade na bisi akofo boy na ye mfa entua eye kofo kana understand the fact is say we ye mampani a oya visionary na mampani bi say na Ghana here mampani bi say na Ghana for ye here at this moment na won't be mwa na onyi Ghana free kan won kofo di ahye and Ghana da gata mu kan en kofia say mai John Dramani Mahama samra na onyi free sa kan we mu na onfa Ghana enko na say onfa Ghana to a part of a prosperity se na be ya se bi wuti abrochu so ti abrochu so ti Ghana ye nyina no e betimi enya ye man no so mfa so na ba bia onam bia you feel proud to call yourself a Ghanaian anya sana say yetna Ghana as ache se Bawumia santo aso dia Bawumia obe sinking fund ultimate creative Bawumia obe stabilization fund the ultimate creative John Dramani Mahama pe na e betimi a creative it also ye nyai Mahama na Bawumia nto aso a menu come off it. Let's be serious. Eti sabi yensu nyansa na yentiase say politics no, it's all about our interest as voters, as a people. It is a yenya mampeni bi na yehu say mampeni no or serve your interest it will be reasonable enough to hand over power to mampeni na or serve your interest no say na be ya wetimi aba abetoa ni nyuma pa or shase so simple as that. So simple as that. Ebusian for me dey be say asa ni amunyi na amunimu no. Me dey the chairman Freemind Akram.